Okay, later this week, it'll be on Wednesday for the early out because it won't take that long. We are going to be taking our second assessment over standard 1. Now, if you mastered this the first time, if right now in the grade book it says 100%, that means if you get another 100% and master it, you have this one locked. Okay, locked. That means you're done taking that. It won't be on your final. Okay, the more stuff you get locked, that means your final becomes that much shorter. Okay, if you didn't master it, this is an opportunity to get your grade up. Okay, right now. So first thing we do is we're going to add, we don't want a calculator for this, okay, no calculator. So what I do, negative 5 plus negative 9, there's no subtraction, that's good, so I've got 9, 5. That's negative, so when they're both negative, we add. Don't put it, see where I don't put any negatives in this part right here, okay, do not. That's 14. There's my dominant number, it's negative, so my answer is negative. Okay, 3 plus negative 6. Okay, so just put 6, 3, don't put any negatives. That's positive, that's negative, those are opposite, so we subtract. That's 3. Dominant numbers here, it's negative. 8 minus 12, okay, you got a minus, okay, so the 8's good, I already know the 8's positive, but that 12, it just says minus 12, so we make it plus negative, and now that's a negative. So I've got 12 and 8, I got a P and an N, so we subtract, that's 4, bigger numbers here, it's negative, so the answer is negative. Negative 8 minus 12. Okay, so that 8's negative, but I don't know about the 12 because there's a minus in front of it. It's just minus 12, so I make it plus negative, and that's negative. So 12, 8, they're both negative, so we add, and that's 20. Now remember to put the sign, the dominant numbers here, it's negative, so negative 20. 4 minus negative 7, so 4 is positive. Now this time I got minus, but then there's a negative. So I go plus, plus, and that's a positive. So if they're both positive, just add them. It's 11. It's just basic addition. Negative 3, that's a negative. But I don't know about this one because we got the minus. Minus negative 3, minus negative goes plus, plus, and that number's positive. So 3 and 3, they're opposite signs. We subtract, and that's 0. 0 is neither positive nor negative, so just don't worry about that. Okay, 5, that's positive. I don't know about the 8 because of the minus. It's just a minus 8, so plus negative, that's a negative 8. 8 and 5, they're both the opposite, so we subtract, that's 3. Here's your dominant, that's negative 3. Okay, negative 2, that's negative. Minus negative 1, I don't know because I need to fix the minus. There's a negative after it, so it's plus, plus. And whenever I do plus, plus, that number's positive. So 2, 1. They're opposite, so we subtract, and that's 1. There's your dominant number, it's negative. 2 minus 7. Okay, 2 is positive. I don't know about the 7 till I make that plus negative, and that's negative. So 7, 2, we got a P and an N, so we subtract, that's 5. Dominant number's negative. Okay, 3 minus negative 2. 3 is positive. The minus negative, I need to plus, plus, and that's positive, so 3 and 2 makes 5. 8 minus 18, okay, that's positive, plus, negative, and that's negative. So I've got 18 and 8, they're opposite signs, so we're going to subtract, that's 10. There's the dominant guy, he's negative. Negative 2, that's a negative. Minus negative 10, I don't know till I fix the minus. There's a negative after it, so plus, plus, and that's positive. So we got 10 and 2, they're opposite, so we subtract, that's 8. There's the dominant guy, he's positive. Okay, now we're multiplying. Look up at the ants up on the poster there. Negative times a negative is always a positive. 6 times 3 is 18. 18, but this time it's negative because only one of them's negative. And then division's the same way. You get 3 positive, 3 negative. Okay, so there's that. Now for the part we can use our calculator on. 3x minus xy. Okay, so if I get numbers to put in, we need to put them in there. So 3 parentheses minus parentheses. X is negative 3. X is negative 3. Y is negative 4. Now, you can plug it into your calculator. I'm not going to count you off if you do that here. I will not, I promise you. 21, negative 21 is the answer. Okay, I'm actually going to show all the steps, so if I got a minus and there's a negative after it, it's plus, plus. Okay, so on these problems, the first thing you have to do is look to see where you're going to multiply. Okay, you're going to multiply here and here. It's going to be negative 9, that's going to be negative 12, and then neither has an x, so just add them, negative 21. Okay, number 2. 4 parentheses plus parentheses, so x I'm going to put the 2 in, y is negative 6. Okay, so I got 4 and then 2 plus negative 6 is 2. Okay, if I'm not using a calculator, I'm going to, 4 times 2 is 8, so that's 8. And 8 plus negative 6 is 2. Okay, number 3, 5. I'm going to put negative 3 in for x, and then plus 2, then minus 6. Okay, the minus, it's just minus 6, so we're going to make that plus negative. Okay, first off, in the parentheses, don't do the rainbows because I don't have any x's in here. Okay, add the numbers together. Negative 3 plus 2. See, watch how easy this is. Negative 1. Okay, now I ask myself, where would I multiply? Well, I'd multiply there. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5, and then that's plus negative 6, negative 11. Okay, now these 5 problems, you're not solving for x, you're just simplifying as much as possible. When you have a line of numbers without any parentheses, it's just an adding problem. Okay, so fix your negatives so you know what they are. You just add what you're supposed to. So I take 8x plus 11x, it's 19x. I take the y is negative 4 plus negative 6 is negative 10y. Put the letters behind them. And then the 3. Okay, that you're done. Don't do anything else. You can't add those 3. Okay, now people are going to get confused on 5 and 6, but they're really easy. Okay, really easy. I'm going to put a parentheses there. Okay. Okay, I didn't give you anything to put in for x. Can you add x to negative 8? No, I don't think you can. Okay, so you come over the top with the rainbows. 3 times x is 3x. If you want to put a 1 there, it's the same thing. 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. Don't add them, stop. You're done. Don't add, divide, you just come over the top with the rainbows, put the x on the 1, and stop. Okay, number 6, same thing, but instead of multiplying, we're dividing, okay? I take 14 divided by 7, 14x divided by 7, 14x divided by 7 is 2x, and then I take negative 21 divided by 7. Negative 21 divided by 7 is negative 3. You can't, it says add, but you can't, so stop. Alright. Square root of 64 is 8. The square root of 97 on the calculator is 9.85. Okay, so we got this rectangle. We got a 8, a 5x plus -7, a 5x plus -7, and another 8. So the perimeters when we add up all the sides. So 5x plus -7 plus 8 plus 5x plus -7 plus 8. Then it's just like a problem like number 4, okay? It's only adding. So 5x and 5x is 10x. Then we add all the rest of these together. -7 plus 8 plus -7 plus 8 is 2. Plus 2. It says you add, but you can't, so there's your answer. Now, I'm not doing a very good job explaining the area, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write length times width. Okay, so we need to replace the length and the width. The length is 5x plus -7. And the width is 8. Now we can't add the 5x to -7, so I come over the top with the 8, okay? I take 8 times -7, that's -56. And then I take 8 times 5x, which is 40x, and it says add, but we can't, so there's the answer. Okay, story problems, 2 of these are really easy. A stock starting price is $51.47. During the week, the stock gains 122, loses 750, loses 1275, and gains 445. Calculate the value of stock after the latest change. So you're doing the value, money's your answer. I should have told you that. Well, the thing is, when I look at these numbers, money is my answer, and that's the only thing the numbers are too. Okay, I mean, that's all I see. So that's your only unit. So if that's your only unit, you're just going to add and subtract. So I take 51.47 plus 122 minus 750 minus 1275 plus 445, and it ends up at $36.89. So really, if you just have one unit in the problem, it's just adding and subtracting. Okay, number 12, a scuba diver dives downward a total of 90 feet over a time of 3 seconds. Calculate the rate of change in feet per second. So I'm finding the rate of change. Okay, and the rate of change is just a division problem. We take our distance, 90 feet, divided by the time, 3, and that equals 30. So 30 feet per second. That's a rate of change because it's 90 feet, 3 seconds, so 30 feet per second. Okay, next one, number 13. Farmer has 120 bushels of beans for sale at the farmer's market. He sells 15 bushels each day. After 6 days, how many bushels does a farmer have left? Okay, so you're finding the number of bushels, says how many bushels. Now, one way you can do is take 15 times 6 is 90, so he sold 90, and subtract it from 120. That's one way you can do it. If you want to use my method, you have 2 units of measurement. You've got bushels as your answer, but you also have days as well. So I do the XY, that's the times the X, that's Y. So per bushels per day. 120 isn't per day. 15 is, it says each day after it, so that's it, 15. Okay, so one line will suffice. So M's out, 15's in. Before the 15, he had 120. Oh, by the way, that would be negative 15 because he's taking them away from what he has. Okay, it's negative. Okay, 120 here. And now I write my equation. 120 plus negative 15x equals y. Okay, then I'm going to go 6 days. That's your substitution number, but days is x, okay? So I'm putting that in for the x, not the y, okay? So 120 plus negative 15, replace that, and we put a 6. Now the y's left, but I can just plug that into my calculator. I don't need to do all that boxing stuff, okay, because the variable, the y, is by itself. So I just plug it in. It's order of operations, okay. If you want to put parentheses, that's fine. You get 30. 30 equals y, and there's the answer.